Shalom. I like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakaha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim, preaching this word with truth and sincerity around the four corners. And peace and salutations to the Akim, the Aqua, the believers, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy. And I got a news article that I'm gonna read, and it has to do with Netanyahu. He's been found on arrest. He's been given arrest warrants. He's been given a warrant for his arrest in International Criminal Court. So the downfall of Esau Edom is coming into play right before our eyes, and mainly Amalek. So I'm going to read the article, get a couple of precepts, and Lord's willing, this will be edifying. What beautiful times we are in. All right, this is from BBC News. This is from the BBC. It says arrest warrants issued for Netanyahu, Gallant, and Hamas commander over alleged war crimes. I'm not too sure about that Hamas commander. I believe he got killed in battle. Yeah, Mohammed Deif. It says judges at the International Criminal Court have issued arrest warrants for Israel's prime minister and former defense minister, as well as the military commander of Hamas. I believe they just threw that in there for the small hats, so they wouldn't feel singled out. A statement said a pretrial chamber had rejected Israel's challenges to the court's jurisdiction and issued warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu, whose real name is Milikowski, and Yoav Gallant. A warrant was also issued for Mohammed Deif of Hamas, although Israel has said he was killed in an airstrike in Gaza in July. Yeah, you see? They were just bringing that up just to bask in the glory of killing a Hamas leader. The judges said there were reasonable grounds the three men bore criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity during the war between Israel and Hamas. Both Israel and Hamas have rejected the allegations. Prime Minister Netanyahu condemned the ICC's decisions as anti-Semitic, of course. Of course he was going to pull that card. Anytime you bring up any charges on the small hats, they claim anti-Semitism. And Semitism is not... Semite is not even a word. It's really supposed to be Shemitic. Because we're from the seed of Shem. It says, while Hamas said the warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant had set an important historical precedent, the impact of these warrants will in part depend on whether the ICC's 124 member states, which do not include Israel or its main ally, the United States, decide to enforce them or not. The White House said the U.S. rejected the ICC decision. However, several European countries have said they respect the decisions of the court. The ICC has the authority to prosecute those accused of genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes on the territory of states party to the Rome Statute, its founding treaty. Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, that's exactly what those Israelis were doing. They were committing acts of genocide. Bombing women and children in Palestine, on the Gaza Strip. That's exactly what it was. People, but media outlets were too scared to call it what it was. It says Israel rejects the ICC's jurisdiction, but the court ruled in 2021 that it had jurisdiction over the occupied West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza because the UN Secretary General had accepted the Palestinians were a member. Yeah, so we'll see what become of this. Said 124 countries are in the are member states. 124 member states of the ICC. So as of right now, Netanyahu and Gallant are fugitives. Let's see if I can get a preset. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 10. And it reads, "And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground." And this is when Cain killed Abel. And you got the Israelis killing the Palestinians at will. Just slaughtering them. It's like the Palestinians have no defense for their onslaught. Verse 11, "And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth." Let's look up this word, fugitive. Strong's H5128. Let me see. It says to quiver, totter, shake, reel, stagger, wander, move, sift, make, move, wave, waver, tremble. But the word there is to wander, a fugitive and a vagabond. This is what Netanyahu and his Prime Minister Gallant, his defense minister, that's what they are. They're fugitives and vagabonds. To be honest, that's the whole Amalekite race, the whole Edomite race. They're a bunch of fugitives and vagabonds because they're running from their past crimes. What they did to the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They're also running from the crimes that they commit to this day. This is the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 5. It says, "Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine." The light shall be darkened his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Yeah, this is speaking about Esau. Because Esau is the wicked that the Bible speaks of, pertaining to Malachi, the first chapter. Calls them the border of wickedness. So, so their light is going to get put out, and that's what you're seeing with this arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Go to the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Yeah, the triumphing of the wicked is short. The so-called white man, Esau, has been in rulership for a little over 500 years. That's short compared to a whole day, which is 1,000. He's only been in rulership for half a day. Pertaining to 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, a day with the Lord is as 1,000 years to us. So, in the Lord's time, he hasn't even been in rulership for a whole day, and he's already coming down out of power. So the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And nobody's a bigger hypocrite than the so-called white man. A hypocrite means an actor. He acts like he's righteous, but he's really wicked. You can just see in what he promotes. Just look at America. America promotes for you to do as thou wilt spirit. Believe whatever you want, eat whatever you want. And that is contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, which is what we're supposed to abide by. I forget the president. I believe it was Ronald Reagan who said that we follow that the law of the land is to follow the Bible. That the Bible governs the law of America. And we know that that's totally false. Because if it were true, you wouldn't have all these alphabet people around and give them rights. You wouldn't uplift the woman over the man. Things of that nature. You wouldn't allow these kids to go without their fathers. So Esau's being exposed. Starting with the apostles and elders, a great millstone on down. Exposing this devil for who he really is. And it's a beautiful thing. There's the book of Psalms, chapter 10. I'll start at the top. You read the subheading. It says, a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? And as you can see, the word Lord is written in all capital letters. So I let you know that it's talking about the Heavenly Father, and his name is Yahweh. And his only begotten son's name is Yahweh Shai. And they are to be feared and reverenced and praised. They are two separate entities. They are not the same person. Verse 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. This is what Esau does. This is what Esau is doing as we speak. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. Yeah. In this society, if you're covetous and you sin, you're uplifted to a high status in society. when really the Lord abhors that. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Heavenly Father is not in all his thoughts. And you can see that, like I said, with the exaltation of the alphabet people. The wicked is not in the Most High is not in all the wicked's thoughts. Like it says in Proverbs, I believe that's the 16th chapter. It says, "Pride cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." So nobody's more proud than a so-called. Nobody's more proud than the so-called white man. And no people are more proud than the Babylonians, also known as the Americans. They're proud for no reason. They have the worst country in the world. Don't get me wrong; it's the top country in the world, but it's the worst country in the world because they taught everybody wickedness and sin and debauchery. Verse 5, "His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." Yeah, that's what Esau does. He has said in his heart, "I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity." And that's what the small hats say. That's what the Edomites say, starting with them small hats. That they shall never be moved. They shall never be in adversity. You know, like it says in Revelation, the book of Revelation, the whore, which is America, said that she will not see widowhood, nor will she have the loss of children. Verse 7, "His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor." And that's what you see Benjamin Netanyahu doing. Leading the IDF into Palestinians' land and just straight slaughtering them. And now he's trying to do that with Hezbollah and Iran. But he's not going to succeed. "He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it." And this is what the Edomites, this is what they say. This is why they continue to do their wickedness. You know, like it says in Ecclesiastes, the 8th chapter, "Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily, it is fully set in the heart of men, sons of men, to do evil." You know, roughly paraphrasing. This is like I said in the subheading, like I said in the heading of this chapter, Psalms 10, a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. Verse 12, "Arise, O Lord, O Yahweh, O power, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble." And you best believe the Lord is going to answer our prayers. I believe this is King David praying. You know, to to lift up the hand against the wicked, to forget not the humble of the innocent. Verse 13, wherefore doth the wicked contemn the Most High? He hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to require it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. And that's that's the time that we're in right now. The Lord is breaking the arm of the wicked and the evil man. The Lord is seeking out the wickedness till he find none. Searching Jerusalem with candles, find the men settled on their leaves. Like it says, I believe in Zechariah or Zephaniah. It's either Zechariah or Zephaniah, the first chapter. This is what the Lord is doing. The Lord is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. And this is what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to perish the heathen out of that land. Like pertaining to Joel, the 3rd chapter, I believe the 1st and the 2nd verse. The heathen have parted the land. Yeah, the heathen have parted the land, starting with those Amalekites, and then with those Palestinians, those Ishmaelites. Those are heathen. They don't belong in the holy land of the Heavenly Father. We do, but because we sinned and we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, we provoked the Heavenly Father to anger, and He banished us from the land. But we're in the time where the Lord is calling back His people, starting with the tents of Judah first, like it says in Zechariah the 12th chapter, and He will save the tents of Judah first. So, starting with them and trickling down to the northern tribe, He's calling back His children, really the elect, so we can be polished up and cleaned up and be allowed back into that land. Verse 17, Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. And this is what the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is doing through His only begotten Son. He's judging the fatherless and the oppressed, which is us, the Israelites. That the man of the earth, which is Esau, the so-called white man, may no more oppress. And this is a beautiful thing. This is the book of Job, chapter 11, verse 20. It says, but the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. And that's what you're seeing. The eyes of the wicked are failing. You'd have never thought that ICC would have brought up charges on Netanyahu. But that's also why he wants to continue to go to war, because he knows that once the war is over, he's going to get put in jail for war crimes, just like how the ICC is charging him now and putting out an arrest and a warrant for his arrest, him and Gallant. The so-called white man, especially the Amalekite, he's a piece of shit. All he does, he's the ultimate victim villain, like the elder Malcolm would be saying. The small hats own everything, and then they claim that they're victims. That everybody's picking on them. When you see them, when you can see the true nature of these people. This is the book of Job, chapter 15, verse 24. Trouble and anguish shall make him afraid. They shall prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. Yeah, and that's what you're seeing with these Edomites. Trouble and anguish and making them afraid. You got to believe that Netanyahu is afraid that if he takes a plane into the wrong country, that the police will be waiting for him at the runway to haul him off to jail. So can't wait to see what news conference that what news conference or what speech he's going to give in the next 24 to 48 hours. But this is a beautiful time to be alive. We're watching the downfall of our enemy and the uprising of our nation, Israel. So Lord's will, you is edified. Till next time, we're going to say shalom to the elect.